Alrighty, good evening, YouTubers. Welcome back to another Astros week recap. We're 20 weeks in. It is 9 o'clock, and it is August 11th, 2019. We are coming at you live from the Marriott in Town Center. Pretty cool. The much better ambiance. Me and David, last time I was on the show, we were sitting on the curb across the street from his house. So, started from the bottom, now we're here. With me today, I have our beautiful host, David Artist, and Pat LaPadula, Big Papa Pat. And we're going to break it down. A lot of stuff happening this week. The Astros had a 2-game set against Colorado Rockies, the debut of Zach Greinke, as well as a 3-game series in Baltimore with a 23-2 shellacking. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic to David, and he's going to get us started.
All right, thank you, Keegan. You kind of jumped the gun there with the 23-2. We wait for Saturday's game to actually talk about that. But anyway.
That was a teaser.
Say hey, Pat. What's going on?
Hey, nice to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
You made quite the trip out here. Was it a long drive?
Yeah, it was about an hour and a half. I packed my passport, and I also took a lunch. So, it's not that bad, but I would do anything for you guys.
Well, I appreciate that. We'll get some ice cream after this so you can make the trip worthwhile.
Excellent. Thank you, Dean.
But we're here for Astros baseball. So they had a short 5-game week. They had 2 off days, Monday and Thursday. So their first game against Colorado, debut of Zach Greinke, just like Keegan mentioned.
Go on the field. That was fun.
Keegan actually won. So these are my two of my favorite co-workers I'm with here tonight. So Keegan Lessard and Pat LaPadula.
I just want to say, between the three of us, we have back-to-back Employee of the Months. So, yes.
Yeah, so Pat won. Pat,
pretty good.
You won in May?
Yeah, and I wonder why they took so long, because I only started in March.
Yeah, so Pat actually is the newcomer to this whole tour guide group, and he actually won an Employee of the Month before both me and Keegan. Okay, well, I started more than a year ago, so I'm kind of behind schedule here. But Pat won in May, I won in June, and Keegan just won in July. He actually went to the Zach Greinke debut start on Tuesday, so he had a fun game to go to.
I was there, too. I was at the Zach Greinke game also.
You got like a pack, like a 10-game pack, or
15-game pack. My daughter and I go. We're sitting 310 usually. Got a great view of the wonderful Minute Maid Park Stadium, and it was a full crowd, 43,000 people.
Yeah, and they gave away the Greinke shirts. Anyway, we're going to get into the game here. So Greinke did not. Before I actually get into this game, I actually personally welcomed Zach Greinke to the city of Houston Monday when I was doing a tour. And my supervisor actually said, if Greinke has a bad start, that's on you for talking to him. As in, yes, me, David. But anyway, he was not good. So really the one bad inning was that 3-run home run he gave up to Tapia. He had given up 2 runs prior to that, but
The defense didn't help him a whole lot. Try to say that again?
sure.
The defense didn't help him a whole lot. I think the numbers at the end, you see the 5 runs that allowed, that's kind of a deceiving number. So,
Yeah, and the Astros defense is usually pretty solid, but yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of errors, but you got bit by the long ball a few times.
No, but there was an error on a third baseman, and the official score put it to a hit. So he was counted for those 3 RBI or 3 runs.
That's right. He had 2 earned, and then it switched to 3 more, so then he actually got tacked with 5 earned runs in that game. But the offense is really the story of the week. The offense carried him to where he still got the win. What do you go, 6 innings? You got the box score up there? I think he went 6 innings.
6 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned runs. He had 2 base on balls, 2 strikes, and he gave up 1 home run.
Yeah, so, Greinke actually will pitch tomorrow as we have a 7-game week. I won't talk about that, but he'll have a chance to redeem himself. The offense, as I pull up my box score here, my at-bat app. Let's see here. By the way, if you hear music in the background, we're in the lobby. The music's a little loud. Might be a little staticky. Yeah, we just picked a spot that was big enough to fit all of us, but the Astros put up 2 in the first. They put up single runs in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th innings, 2 more in the 6th, 4 more in the 7th. home runs. Alvarez, like usual, Gurriel had 2, and Correa had a home run. So Greinke didn't have to do a whole lot. As long as he got through 5 innings, he was pretty much guaranteed to win this game. Wasn't very hard. Your bullpen pitchers that came in after Greinke was Davinsky for an inning. He actually gave up an earned run. Rondon, I think, pitched a 1-2-3 inning, incredibly. And then McHugh. I don't know how I feel about McHugh. In fact, we'll talk about this a little later, but we have people coming off the DL, like Brad Peacock, Josh James. He might be the odd man out, but we'll wait and talk. Bring that up in a minute. But
going back to Devo got hit hard. Like I know there's a hard line out to left.
we're talking about Devo?
Yeah, Devo. I'm trying to think back to the inning he had. But can you? What's the line score on that inning?
So Devo got the 7th. He only gave up 1 earned run. It was a home run. He gave up 1 hit. He also struck out a batter. But Devo's actually been very. I feel like his ERA was so bad. He was so bad early in the year. I feel like he's kind of come into more of a zone. He's only called in out of that bullpen to mainly get left-handers out because we don't have a left-handed reliever. So A.J. Hinch uses Devo because his numbers against lefties are pretty solid. So that's when he's usually used.
When is Jeff Luna and get Aroldis Chapman just in time for October?
No. He'd be a closer. I mean, what, are you going to close with Osuna instead of Chapman?
No, I was thinking about making Aroldis our like 6th inning guy, maybe, or like a long running relief kind of guy.
He has control issues, so he's got 5 blown saves. Osuna's got 5, and so does Chapman. So, but anyway, I'm starting to when Devo also gets a lot of work. I feel like I always see him warming up in the bullpen, getting ready to come in. But 7th, 8th, 9th, it's usually Will Harris, Ryan Presley, Roberto Osuna, but the offense did all the work. Pat, anything to add there?
Nope.
All right, so then you move to Wednesday's game. This was another offensive outburst. In fact, this game was never in doubt. What was the final score there? 14-3, I believe. And who started this game? Who's after Greinke? Was it Cole?
Garrett Cole.
Yeah, Garrett Cole gave up a few runs, which is unlike him. A few home runs, I believe. The Colorado, Trevor Story hit a home run in the first. But then Altuve, I believe, countered with a leadoff home run of his own, and Gurriel also had a 3-run home run. Gurriel's basically picking up right where he left off when he ended June or July with Player of the Month there. About 14-3. What did you see in this game?
Gurriel, 8 RBIs. What is up with that?
Do you know? Yeah, so he actually tied the record. Do you know who held it before?
No.
So J.R. Tolles. He tied J.R. Tolles' RBI record there in Wednesday's game. Keegan, you had?
I just want to add in J.R. Tolles is up there with Hank Congner as the best Astros catchers of all time. Craig Bizier's on that list too, but J.R. Tolles is the GOAT.
Yeah, Keegan's actually rocking the Hank Conger jersey tonight as we sit here in the lobby of the Marriott here. But Keegan's always got an authentic Astros legend T-shirt he's wearing. So, yeah, he's got the Conger. He's had a Carlos Corporon. He's rocked the Ken Giles. You want to add a few more there? Who else have you had that I have not named?
Jed Lowry. Brett Oberholzer. There's a Brett Oberholzer Memorial Day jersey. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's actually a fun story behind the memorial. I'll save that. But that's a fun story. Should I tell the story?
No. We won't get into that. We're going to stick to. So, yeah. So 14-3. We're here to talk about Astros baseball. So 14-3. These two games, as long as your pitcher went 5 innings, you're going to be good. Garrett Cole, what's his line? He went
6 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 10 strikeouts, another double-digit strikeout. He gave up 2 home runs, and he went 103 pitches.
Yeah, so it's good that he gets stretched out. Also, he ERA at 2.87. I'd like to announce the ERAs on the show. So he's at 2.87. Greinke, his is up over 3, I believe now. Barely, it's like 3.08. Verlander, we'll talk about him in a minute. So had the off day Thursday. Then you roll into Baltimore on Friday. This was actually a pretty poor game by Astros standards on Friday because they.
The uniforms look pretty good.
Yeah, they were wearing the rainbow with down the sleeve, the striped uniforms.
Shout out Chris Ross.
What was the cream? What's it called?
Cream.
Alamo cream.
Shout out Chris Ross. Let me know.
Yeah. Okay, so. Yeah, that was a hard-fought 3-2 victory. I know they scored two quick runs in the first inning. There was a RBI double, I believe. RBI double. There was a Yordan Alvarez. So Bregman had an RBI double, and then Yordan Alvarez had an RBI single. So they had two quick runs.
That might have been one of the softer hit Yordan Alvarez balls I've ever seen.
Yeah, it kind of just blooped over the shift there and into right field. So who pitched? So who's after Cole in the rotation? Was it
Sanchez? Saturday, yesterday was Sanchez.
No, it was Miley on Friday.
Oh, Friday?
Wade Miley.
So Wade.
Saturday was Sanchez. Is what I said.
Yeah, so Wade Miley went 5 2/3. He pitched well. I think he gave 2 runs.
He gets no love. When was the last time Wade Miley's given up more than 3 runs in a start? Off the top of your head, because he keeps the team in the ball game every single outing. And you look at they're selling T-shirts in the team store, and it's got like the Verlander, Garrett Cole, and Greinke, and Wade Miley gets no love. It's not right.
Yeah, he's very underrated. He keeps the team. His record is now 11-4 with an ERA at 2.99. So if Greinke could have just kept his ERA under 2, it was at 2.90 going into Tuesday's start, they'd have 4 starters on the rotation with ERAs under 3, which is incredible when you think about it. But that was a hard fought. Osuna got the save. Who came in after Miley? You got those stats there, Pat?
Will Harris came in, pitched a .1 of an inning because Miley only went 5 2/3. Then Joe Smith came in, pitched an inning, gave up a home run. Ryan Presley's
first earned run all year that Joe Smith has given up.
And then Ryan Presley came in again, pitched an inning, 2 strikeouts. And then Roberto came in and got a save, his 26th of the year before blowing. I mean, we'll talk about that one later.
Thanks for not stealing the thunder there, but yeah, Osuna got his 26th save, I believe you said there, and 30 opportunities, so he's blown 4 this year, which isn't terrible, but we'll get to what he did today in a minute.
Consistent. But, if you talk about the Orioles, their pitcher, Bundy, he went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, only gave up 2 earned runs during that time. So after you gave up those quick earned runs in the first inning, he came back and pretty much stifled the Astros for 5.
Ted Bundy is ridiculous.
Dylan Bundy is his name.
I refer to him as Ted Bundy.
Well, anyway, Altuve had a key RBI triple late in the 7th inning there to actually add an insurance run, which actually proved to be the winning run because they won that game 3-2.
That was Altuve's first triple of this year.
Yeah, I did hear that actually. I was listening to the game, and I think, I don't know, Todd Callis or Jeff Blum, but one of them mentioned that. But good win. That was their 8th consecutive win, so they were sort of in a winning streak. And today, Sunday, you roll into today.
We got to go yesterday's game.
Saturday? Okay, so yeah. One quick thing. So
You can just skip Saturday.
I'm not going to skip Saturday.
23
Yeah, I forgot. But
How many runs did we score, Keegan? 23.
yeah, we
Wants to skip it like it was
Pretty
nothing.
solid when you score 3 touchdowns and only give up a safety in a baseball game. I'm just saying.
yeah. So
If I was going to pick one.
I had a question for you guys because I'm actually my memory's kind of gone here. So Presley came off the DL.
Yeah.
Who got sent down when Presley came back up?
Was it size? Oh,
I think size.
was it size Snead?
Let's just say it was, but we're not sure.
Is Garrett Stubbs back down already? Because he was.
Oh no, wait! I think it was Garrett Stubbs.
Was Garrett Stubbs?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad you caught
Came
that.
up when Chirino's had shoulder discomfort.
Yeah, but
something like that?
Chirinos didn't go on the DL.
Yeah,
So yes, good catch. That was Garrett Stubbs who got sent down.
Love Garrett Stubbs.
Cy Snead got sent down, I think, when they brought up their 3 guys.
Miss that beard.
But
The neck beard?
and a Yukon Cornelius on his glove he's got there. But so yeah, they brought up Ryan Presley who was dealing with a knee issue. So Garrett Stubbs, sayonara. He's not that good. So and plus you have Martin Maldonado, a guy I'm very fond of. So, but so yeah, on Saturday here, 23-2 was the final.
What was the score?
23-2.
Touchdowns to a safety. I think to avoid giving up those 2 runs, got to stay out of our own end zone. And
Okay, we'll move on from that.
so Pat, I want you to break down the runs. Can you give me the home runs or who actually scored? This might take a while. I know Yordan had 3 home runs.
Jordan was insane.
Let's just go with RBIs. Because almost everybody let's put it this way. Everybody who played except for one person, Mr. Machete, got a hit or an RBI.
That's Martin Maldonado, by the way. They call him Machete.
Springer was 1 for 5 with 2 RBIs. Altuve came in, was 3 for 6, 3 runs scored, 3 RBIs. Michael Brantley was 2 for 3, 2 runs, no RBIs. Ooh, Big Mike, what's up? Jake Marisnik came in, 2 for 3, 2 runs, 1 RBI. Then Bregman came in, and he was 3 for 3, 3 runs, 3 RBIs. Then Mr. Diaz came in for Bregman, and he was 3 for 3.
Diaz actually came in the game like in the 5th inning when the game was already handled. He still had 3 hits after coming in after it was halfway over. That was crazy.
He had 2 runs and 1 RBI. Then we go to Thordon. He was 3 for 5, 4 runs, 7 RBIs. That puts him to 51 RBIs in 45 games.
That's crazy to think. This was the first time I think any major league team ever had 3 Cuban-born players have at least 3 hits. So that was, of course, Jordan Diaz, and who was the third guy? You said Yuli only had. How many hits did Yuli have?
I wasn't up to Yuli. This was everybody before him. Because you took the mic away, and we didn't even talk about Correa, who was 3 for 6, 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs, and hit a 474 feet home run to right field, not over Baltimore or left field, not over Baltimore's, not only over Baltimore's, not only over the Astros bullpen, but into the area where the statues are there, which is an amazing shot. I've been to that park. I've stood right there, and it is a long way from home plate.
Yeah, and so the 474-foot home run tied Yordan Alvarez's home run, which are the 2 longest this year by Astros. But that was an offensive display that just never stopped. I almost felt bad for Baltimore pitching. What do you think, Keegan?
Well, I honestly stopped feeling bad when I see a position player come in. Should I start feeling like worse when a position player comes in to pitch? Because it's not going good. But I honestly, that shows how good of a hitter Yordan Alvarez is. Because does anyone know what the velocity was? Because that pitch was like a Zach Greinke looking eephus coming in that he sat back and just destroyed.
Yeah, I was listening to it on the radio at this point. Steve Sparks said that Yordan Alvarez like triple clutch before he actually swung the bat because he had so much time. Yeah. But that was, he had a 3-run home run? That was a bomb. He had didn't he hit it up to the Boog's Pal barbecue area?
Well, he hit it before that, and it rolled through the gate and went to the Boog's Pal area, which, last time I was there, I was walking down Utah Street, that's what they call it. I saw Boog right there, and I handed him a ball, and he signed it for me, so that was a pretty good thing. And I didn't even eat any of his barbecue, so there it is.
It's just called Boog's Barbecue. Boog Pal is actually at Oakland A. Boog Pal, if you ever heard that name, he was actually in Oakland A. Was that Boog Pal, or is it just called Boog's Barbecue, right?
Yeah, it's named after a player.
Yeah.
He used to play for Baltimore.
I also have been to Oriole Park at Camden Yards, and I think it's kind of cool how stole my wallet. How you can just walk, like the center field area is open to the public. Anybody can just walk right by and check out all the plaques where the balls. Jordan's going to have one of those plaques. He's got to have one, right?
No, he won't, because what I was listening to Todd Callis and Jeff Blummer say is it wasn't into that alleyway or that street area. He hit before and it bounced into it, all 3 of his hits, his homers.
Yeah, so Alvarez, Rookie of the Year. You guys agree with me, right?
Roy. I call him Roy.
Roy Don is what we call him.
I think Roy Don is a terrible nickname because it sounds like Royd. Now it has really bad implications for a guy who's hitting baseballs like 1,000 miles an hour off the bat.
I just call him Roy.
Yeah, Roy works.
Like
just the goat. The goat.
He's not a goat after 45 games. He's not a goat.
Bold prediction: Yordan Alvarez. 22-year career, all for the Houston Astros. 783 home runs. I'm calling it. When he goes in Cooperstown, it will be 28 years from now for 23-year career. With 783 career home runs, I will be there, and I'm going to pull up this podcast and be like, I told y'all so. So, boom.
I hope to be around in 28 years, so thanks for bringing that to me. And, make me feel kind of old now. Thank you, Keegan. Okay, we haven't even talked about. We talked about Correa. We haven't talked about Yuli Gurriel, who was 4 for 6 in this game, had 3 runs, 1 RBI. We already talked about Maldonado, and then Josh Reddick, after throwing his hat, he didn't throw his hat this game. He was 1 for 5, had 1 run and 1 RBI. So everybody except for the Machete, we had 50 at bats, 23 runs, 25 hits, 21 RBIs. 2 base on balls and 4 Ks. They pretty much smacked Baltimore around pretty well.
So yeah, when it comes to Yordan Alvarez, Alemnis Diaz, and Yuli Gurriel all had at least 3 hits. First time ever in franchise history, 3 Cuban-born players had at least 3 hits on the same team. Keegan's got a little something here.
I guess you can call that a Cuban Missile Crisis.
That's very clever. Very clever.
That's what
All
I'm
right,
here
so
for.
the pitchers in this game, we had what do we got here? So Aaron Sanchez went 5, run that pitch can up. Well, he only threw 90 pitches, but he got the win, 5.6. So you don't look at the win-loss record or the ERA with Sanchez because
Well, his ERA since coming to Houston was 7.06 when he came. Something.
I think 6.07.
Is that 6.07? Well, it's like 5 point something now, so it's dropped tremendously.
Yeah, so Aaron Sanchez, good addition to the rotation. When they actually brought him over, I thought he might go to the bullpen, but they sent Urquidy down to bring up. Yeah, so I know you like to use a little accent there, but Urquidy's back in AAA.
Well, he also.
Urquidy. I think they said
Urquidy.
Urquidy, okay.
Now, was it about a week ago? We had that 20-12 game, and he got lit up. So. I think we may have seen the last of Urquidy.
Yeah, the Astros like him. I mean, maybe next year because we have some free agents, Garrett Cole, but a few others. But we'll see. I think they like him, but we'll have to see. He had a few good starts. He had 2 very subpar starts. In fact, we went to one of his bad starts, our tourist party when we played Los Angeles. That was a Urquidy start.
I saw his start in Denver. And that's his first start for Major League, and that's a pretty tough place to have a start as a Major Leaguer. And he didn't do well, but we got the win.
Good pitchers miss barrels at the end of the day.
Say that one more time.
Good pitchers miss barrels.
Yes, they do.
Bad
Cut.
ones don't.
They miss sparrows. What are you talking about? They miss sparrows. Oh, I'm sorry, barrels.
Barrels.
The
They miss
barrels.
barrels. All right, but Urquidy's in AAA, so he's not really worth mentioning. He was just a guy that was in the rotation. Sanchez came in, so that's kind of how we brought that up.
After Sanchez went 5, then we had Rondon, Smith, Davinsky, and McHugh all taking one inning each to finish out the game.
Yeah, and Joe Smith gave up another. Well, that was the right game. So Smith gave up another home run, so he's actually given up 2 solo shots, the only earned runs he's given up all year. Smith is just going to figure himself into sort of a mid-relief role. He's not going to be a setup or anything like that. But Joe Smith is a good change at pace. They were talking about this on the broadcast because all of our pitchers throw mid to upper 90s, it seems like, when they come out of the bullpen. Joe Smith is the complete opposite. He works on, he throws a fastball maybe to get to 90, but it's a lot of spinners and breaking balls and sliders and curves. It's not, it's a different look than what a lot of bullpen pitchers actually possess these days. Every person and every bullpen seems to come out and throw fastballs in the mid or upper 90s. So Joe Smith is kind of a good change of pace.
And his arm release it's down on the side, it's down underneath. So it's a very different change of pace for hitters to see also.
Definitely, Keegan.
Just talk about Joe Smith. I got the opportunity to talk to him when he was kind of going through his rehab process. And the other day he had a comebacker, and he had to kind of test that Achilles, jumping up for it. Achilles looks good, so I'm really excited to have him back in the bullpen going down the stretch here.
Yeah, but if we're being honest here, so what do you think about we'll talk about this. Well, we'll bring it up now. We're talking about bullpen. What do you think about Joe Biagini? Do you think he figures himself into sort of a setup along with Will Harris? Of course, Presley and Osuna, that's your 8-9 combination going to be most nights. But what do you think about Biagini so far? He's only had 2 or 3 outings. But what's your take on him?
I haven't seen a lot of him. I saw him, and the only time I've actually got a chance to watch him pitch was in his 1 inning as part of that combined no hitter. He looked solid then.
Today he actually was in a jam, bases loaded, 1 out, and actually worked himself out of it. You have any, Pat? You have any takes on Biagini thus far?
We don't have enough samples for him as an Astro, so I don't have one yet. I'm looking up his career, and his ERA is over 4.5. He's had 312 innings pitched. He's given up 345 hits during that time. So this season, 54 innings pitched, and he's given up 57 hits. That's a lot, giving up 23 runs. So he's a 3-1, 1 save. So that's it. It's too much of a small sample for the Astros right now.
Yeah, and Brent Strom's a miracle worker, right? So if history tells us anything, he knows how to turn average to below average pitchers into superstars. Case in point, Charlie Morton. Ryan Presley. Who was Ryan Presley before he became an Astro? Will Harris was a waiver claim.
Taking into account Garrett Cole's career before he came to Houston was trending downwards.
The 3 candidates actually right now, good point, Keegan, but 3 candidates for the Cy Young Award right now is Justin Verlander, Garrett Cole, and Charlie Morton. It'd be really nice that the Astros still had Charlie Morton, but that just goes to show you Brent Strom, he's a legendary pitching coach. He's got to be the best in baseball. I think the track record pretty much speaks for itself in that regard. But didn't he have surgery or something? Yeah.
Tommy John surgery. Almost had Brent Strom surgery. So for those of y'all who don't know, the first person to ever have Tommy John surgery is Tommy John. The second person to ever have this operation that was Brent Strom. So and it was I don't know, I want to say it was like a couple months in between. So had he had the surgery a couple months before, it would be now known as Brent Strom surgery. So there you go.
Yeah, interesting point. Keegan brought that up to me yesterday when we were at work. But anyway, so we'll roll into Sunday's game here. This was the loss doesn't bother me, and maybe you guys can speak to this as well, but it's a real punch in the gut when you lose a game that late, when you're 1 strike away from winning the game. And the Orioles, the Orioles record? Is it on your screen over there? I'm sure it's bad. 39-78. So they're easily going to lose more than 100 games. In fact, they lost more than 111 last year.
How much longer until they're mathematically eliminated from contention?
They might already be. I don't know, but
Broke their backs.
So yeah, I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, the Astros, Verlander had a very subpar start. What was his just Verlander's line here?
He was 5 innings pitched. He had 9 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned runs, 1 base on ball, and a double-digit strikeout at 11. So, he had 109 pitches, and his ERA is still 2.82, which is fantastic.
By the way, Garrett Cole, ERA is lower than that, and I made the prediction earlier this year that Garrett Cole would actually finish with a lower ERA than Justin Verlander, so it looks like I'm on track with that. A few things I want to bring up. Verlander, so he God, I just forgot what I was going to say, but Verlander, Verlander actually has done very well. He hasn't allowed a lot of home runs, I feel like, lately. What do you guys think? I feel like he's cut down. There was a stretch or it was a given that he's going to give at least 2 home runs per start. But I think he's actually kind of solved the home run issue. What do you guys we'll go to Keegan first here.
So I believe that he was on to the MLB's conspiracy theories and whatnot about how the balls were indeed juiced. Human growth hormones were injected into the pill. For those of you all who don't know what the pill is, go take an educational tour at Minute Maid Park, and they will show you like a video on how the baseballs are made. I wasn't able to do this with a straight face, but then Dave started laughing. But so MLB's like, oh no, he's on to us. We got to stop this now. Only on JV days. So on JV days, they go grab some of the old baseballs back when they were made by Rawlings, not Major League Baseball Rawlings. But so that's what's going on.
You're kind of getting too far off there. We got to reel you back in. Pat, what do you think about Verlander and he's been better at allowing the home runs?
Yeah, I really don't think it matters much because when he does give up a home run, it's only a 1 shot. It's maybe a 1 shot, 2 shots. He doesn't give up the 3 run shot at a time. So he could give out. he could give up two solo home runs, and we're still going to win the game. So I really don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah, one more point I'd like to make. Usually, if we have a starting pitcher that allows 400 runs, our offense is usually going to cover for that. But the offense, Asher Wojciechowski, do you guys remember that name?
Yeah.
He was a former Astro early in his career.
Where's he go?
He pitched today.
He pitched today, my
He
friend.
pitched for the Orioles.
I don't have I don't have the ability to watch Astros games, so I've got no clue what's going on.
So Asher Wojciechowski got the start. He actually held the Astros, so they actually put up. Didn't Correa hit a 3-run home run? So Keegan keeps up with the games. You just can't really watch him. I even had trouble watching because I was a dog/house sitting most of the week. So I listened to a lot of games on the radio, and I came home to watch some of the games, but I wasn't able to watch.
When you watch the dog in a house, there's not a TV there?
There is, but they have Dish, which doesn't carry AT&T Sportsnet Southwest.
But do you carry AT&T Sports Southwest? You could do it on
So
your
I
computer.
tried.
I do on my iPad.
Also,
I tried.
You can stream Astros games on Reddit for those of y'all who have the same problems that me as I do, or as David when he's house. Like if y'all also house sit and they don't have a Dish or they have 18, they don't have that. You could look up Astros games on Reddit and apparently find it there. So there you go.
I actually downloaded the MLB.TV app because I think it was Maddie who worked with us last week was saying if you download that app, even though it's the Astros, since they're playing in Baltimore, you should get the games. And exactly, I get there, and it said blackout restriction. I was like, are you kidding me? So it's a free trial. I didn't spend any money. Like you screwed me over with the what do we? Yeah, the Diamond Dynasty thing that I'm paying monthly now because I couldn't cancel my free trial in time. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But Wojciechowski, what was his line? He actually pitched pretty well, right?
Yeah, he had 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned runs, 3 base on balls, 5 strikeouts, and then he gave up that big home run to Correa.
So it was a 3-run shot. We were winning this game 3-2 after the second inning. Baltimore put up 2 in the 5th. Devo gave up a run, I believe, in the 6th. We did add or cut the lead 5-4 with a single run in the 7th. And then we put 3 in the 9th. So this was crazy. So yeah, the top of the order, you're down a run. Michael Givens is Baltimore Orioles, their closer. I feel good being down a run with the top of the order coming up. So you have Springer, leads off with a single. Then you have Altuve, who I believe walks. And then here's the crazy play. So Michael Brantley rips one down the first base line.
It was hit as far as exit velocity and location, because it's got that perfect where it's hit slowly enough to where it's just kind of hard, like in a weird spot to get to. That's just all these inside the park home runs to be so perfectly placed. All the outfielders in today's games have such strong arms. It was such strange. And then he bobbled it around in the outfield.
Yeah. So it goes down the line.
It took forever to ball it.
Actually, by the way, Altuve did not walk. He actually had a bunt single. That's how he got on to make it first and second. But he hits it down the first base line in the corner. Springer scores easily. Altuve's right behind him scoring. And Santander is his name, the outfielder for the Orioles, picked it up. And he lost the ball mid-throwing motion to get it back into the infield. And then he didn't know where it was. And when he actually located the ball, he didn't hustle to go get it. So Brantley came all the way around and scored. They ruled that a triple and an error. But not only did that tie the game, it actually gave us the lead plus another run. So it was 7-5 at that point. Osuna's up in the bullpen warming up, getting ready to come in the 9th. So we're looking good. But the Astros, I mean, you got to get all 27 outs because they're going to fight you to the end. But Osuna comes in, and Osuna blows this game. He, if I recall this inning correctly, I know he gave up a leadoff double. There was a ground ball hardly hit to Correa on the right side of second base. He threw to first to get the out. There was a sac fly, I believe. I'm not sure how a runner got on, but who's the guy that hit the walk-off home run? Rio Ruiz, I believe.
I feel like 6 home runs on the year, batting sub 240.
He's actually an Astros. He was in their system, Rio Ruiz, but he had a 2-run home run to walk it off. So as soon as ERA all the way up to 3.04, blew his 5th game of the year. Kind of tough. I mean, we were looking at our 9th consecutive victory, and that kind of blew it. So now we got to bounce back tomorrow. So we have a 7-game week. But That was a tough one. So when Osuna comes in the game, and I have no reason to expect A.J. Hinch, he's going to continue to use him in the ninth inning. He has a very long leash on people in the bullpen, as I have mentioned earlier. But I can't say I feel very confident if I see Osuna come into a one-run ball game in the ninth here coming up this week.
Well, at the end of the day, I think he'll figure it out. I think both he and Hector Rendon go into Cooperstown as Astros. So
Rondon?
yes, Hector Rendon.
You didn't misspeak there?
No, I did not misspeak. Yes, they'll be going into Cooperstown as Astros. They're going to be a key part of the bullpen. Not Rendon, but Osuna, he's going to have to be a big part of that bullpen going forward. He's been great all year. I just think these are the dog days of August, dog days of the summer. The games get long. It gets kind of hard to keep focused in the bullpen for long periods of time, especially at this point in the season. He'll figure it out.
I don't believe that. That's his job. His job is to come in and throw lights out. That's it. Every now and then, okay, but, it's been more now than then. And it's disappointing when you come in and you don't have any true belief in your closer. So
I believe that, but
I'm an optimist,
here's
too,
the thing.
and I'm very, very disappointed.
I've been a huge Osuna supporter.
Really?
Yes. Here's the thing. No, here's the thing. So Osuna, I don't know if you guys took clear shot of or looked at that at bat of Rio Ruiz, who hit the walk-off home run. Osuna's a very unique closer in the fact that he's got like 5 different pitches.
Osuna's got the fastball, the slurve, changeup. He's throw a two-seam as well.
He's got a
two-seam.
so he's got a 4-seam fastball, 2-seam fastball. He's got a sweeping curve. He's got a splitter. He's got the changeup. He threw the changeup 5 straight pitches, and Ruiz finally caught on to his pattern. That was the ball he hit over the wall, but that's a gut punch for me at least. It's not a huge loss. They're 77-41, so they're incredible. This is their best stretch ever to start the season. What is it, 112? How many games did they play? 118, something like that? 77-41, does that sound right? So this is the best stretch ever, but that's kind of a gut punch just because it looked like we were going to sweep the Orioles, which is something we should do. But 4 in 1 week, so I really can't complain about that. They play all days next week. In fact, they have 17 consecutive games without a day off. But they have the Chicago White Sox for 3 in Chicago, and then they go to Oakland and play the A's for 4. So the A's are actually 10 games back. Pat, can you pull up the standings? I believe the Yankees are also 77-41, so they're tied with us. And I believe the Dodgers are 79-41, if I'm correct there. So those are the only teams that Yankees are tied with us. Of course, we own the tiebreaker. I'll get to you in just a second, Pat. I mean, Keegan.
Wow.
Sorry, but but yeah, the Dodgers they play 2 more games, so they have a full game lead on us. But I think we're fine. I think that we will finish with the best record in the American League and host home field playoffs throughout. But any final thoughts? If we wrapped up the week, I've talked about who we play and standings. So final thoughts. We'll start with Pat this time.
Yeah, I just believe the Astros are the team to beat. I read an article the other day about the Astros are the new team to love to hate. I don't believe that because they got such great characters on the team. They're wonderful people. They have fun all the time. They're cheering. There's no real superstars amongst all the superstars. And I believe that they could go 7-0 on this next road trip. So on the rest of this road trip, which would be fantastic for us.
Thank you for that, Keegan.
Yeah, I agree with Pat. I think this Astros team, if you look at just historically great baseball teams, this Astros team is up there with every single one of them, if you ask me. Now, I do have a question for you, David.
Okay.
So a while back, we were at work, and I was asking you who I would be concerned with going in October. You mentioned the Indians. The Indians have been hot, and they just took the AL Central lead today.
Right.
So what are your feelings on the Indians missing Bauer?
I don't think it matters. I think their pitching staff is still good, especially if they get Kluber and Carrasco back. Kluber was bad all year. I know he's on my fantasy. Okay, well,
He was bad.
I still think Kluber. I mean, he actually has struggled in the postseason. He's also had some good games in the postseason, but their pitching, I think, stacks up with ours. I think I'm not really gonna be scared with anybody, but if you're asking me to pick a few teams, the Twins don't scare me at all. I know we lost 4-7. They don't scare me, but we might be playing actually the wild card winner, which would be the Twins and either Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay plays us well.
We have never played Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and even Oakland. If we play Oakland, I mean, we've owned them this year, so we should have no issues with Oakland. But
I would love another, say, Game 5 of the ALDS, another Bregman walk-off of the throw off his helmet, like Lucroy. Man, Lucroy must hate playing in Houston.
well, anyway, you're getting off topic. We all can agree that it's going to be the Astros and the Yankees in the American League Championship Series. Can we all agree with that? You guys agree?
I think Pat's dying over there.
Pat's laughing, but he's our stats guy tonight. He's got his big. Is this an iPad?
It's an iPad, David.
He's got his iPad pulled up, and he's got these box scores. So he's been our big stats guy tonight.
Hashtag that's an ad with Apple. There's one in the First Colony Mall. Hashtag go Apple. Hashtag RIP Steve Jobs.
Thank you for that, Pat. Any final comments? He's over here cracking up. Keegan makes him laugh. But we're coming up over 40 minutes, so hold on. I'll let Keegan sign us off, but a few things I want to talk about here. This is a very long podcast with three guests, two guests, but three people altogether. But but skip around. I know you hate to hear. If you hate to listen to my voice every single week, skip around to when Pat and Keegan have to speak because they have good viewpoints, and I appreciate both of you guys for meeting me out here tonight to do this podcast. I really appreciate it. Hopefully, we'll bring in a lot of views. So hit that subscribe button. Please share this with your friends and leave comments. I'd love to hear comments. This will be the last podcast for quite a while for Keegan as he leaves back to Minnesota Wednesday. Pat, you'll have to come on a few more times throughout the year. If you're around, I appreciate that.
If I'm here, I would love to come back and talk baseball with you. Well, talk Astro baseball with you.
Yes, this is Astros Recap. Keegan wants to sign us off, which I'll let him do. But again, hit that subscribe button. Please leave comments. Do all that good stuff on YouTube. Please listen. You can skip around even now and in previous
Don't skip around.
upcoming
Listen to us from zero to
upcoming podcasts. I don't want to take
Great content.
I don't want to take 45 minutes out of your day,
Yes,
but I'll let Keegan sign us off. I'm David Artist. Thanks to Pat. Thanks to Keegan. Keegan, have a good time and get back to pitching. We'll be in Minnesota. Me and Pat are going to take a trip out there to watch you pitch. Okay,
Sounds good.
we're going to do that. But here's Keegan, and of course I'm the host here. But I'll definitely talk to you next Sunday night, and I'll let Keegan finish us off here.
All right, howdy, Buckaroos. I just go ahead and smash that like button if you think David should go buy a bigger microphone. It's really small and it's really hard for all of us to talk into it. Thank y'all so much for just walking with us on this journey. It means a lot. Go Astros, and as always, Shaka Bra.